Before we do that, we're joined on site by Robert Hassell, who just got out of the game. Only in spring training do we watch a guy have an at-bat, and then literally 4 minutes later,
like he just scored.
However long it takes him to get up the steps, he's sitting here with us chatting on Grant and Danny. So thank you for being willing to do that.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
So things today were productive. You guys have 7 runs and 11 hits, but for you, you're not just trying to get out there, get a hit, get a run like a normal game. You're putting in work. What were you able to check off the to-do list to get closer to being ready for end of March?
Yeah, I think, this is the longest offseason I've had. I've been to Fall League the past 3 years, so I was definitely a little bit rusty coming back facing live pitching. But, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You got to check the boxes, do what this is year 5-6 for me now. So, I mean, I'm used to doing the same sort of things to get ready every spring, and that's kind of what I did. But I feel pretty good right now, getting back into swing of things.
You mentioned kind of the long offseason. Is that the biggest difference for you, just in general at this stage of your career?
Yeah, it was different because, my coming back and doing live ABs and stuff like that, I could feel that I had time off. It wasn't necessarily with my eyes. I felt like I was seeing it really, really good. Just the bat was a little slow. Timing was a little bit off. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad they were able to put us in front of a lot of live ABs, and then obviously we're playing these games. So I'm getting back into it, yeah.
Robert Hassell of the Nationals on Grant and Danny. So last year you were able to get to the big leagues and play in 70 games and really get a feel for the major league level and the competition. Would you come away having learned? And about yourself, what did you come away with in terms of confidence that you can be an everyday guy going forward?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me is to be able to prove that I'm an everyday guy. I gained a lot of respect for people coming off the bench and being able to succeed because it was a real challenge for me last year. I accepted that that was sort of the role I might be playing with the outfielders we had out there. But it was tough. It was tough, and but I learned a lot. A year ago coming into spring training, I hadn't felt what it felt like to be in the big leagues, and now I know I can do it. Played in front of those big crowds. It's the same game. Felt like I pressed a little bit too much on myself. That's not the place where you want to do it in the bigs. You kind of want to be a lot more under control and calm. But yeah. I mean, it helps me gain confidence knowing I've already played at that stage. I've gotten a lot of reps up there, and looking to put it together this year.
Paul Taboni was in that seat about a half hour ago during one of your at bats, and I'd mentioned the outfield spot here is convoluted. I mean, this is one of the few areas on this team, this rebuilding club, where there's too many guys and not enough positions, basically, because you've got James and Dylan, and Dalen had the incredible season last year, and the Jacob Young's elite defensively. There's 5 of you. You get 3 spots every single day. What is it like for you in this competition, knowing if they just let me play every day, I might be fine, but I got to win that job. I got to have that role. And you don't know if it's going to happen or not.
That's you nailed it. I think nothing's given, everything's earned. But I do. I think I'll have no problem whatsoever having if I get in there every single day. I remember a couple of our coaches last year saying, "Man, when you're in there every day, your stuff is elite." Because you're going to have down days, but if you have days off in between, it's really tough. But I know I can do it. That's who I've been. Being out there every day, I take a lot of pride in that. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of guys, but we all got each other's backs. We're all trying to do the same thing. We want to make the big league team. We want to play every day. But I just go out there and be the best I can be. If that puts me on the field for them, great. If not, I can't lose confidence or anything because of it. I got to know I'm still an elite level player that can be out there every day and help a team.
Yeah. What did you want to add to your game as you progress here? I mean, obviously, you mentioned you've got a track record of success. I'm a huge fan of yours, not just because you're sitting here, but in reality, I think you're going to be a star.
That's actually not what he said 30 minutes ago, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus.
No, if I could buy stock, I would. I'm a Robert Hassell guy.
Thank you.
What was something that you said I want to keep adding every year as a worker, as a guy with the kind of talent that you have? What did you want to add?
Well, I think it wasn't. So obviously, I want every part of my game to get a lot better. I've talked about some swing things, some timing things. I think most of it's mental. I had great success in AAA because I felt the confidence every day. Like I was the man on the field. And being up in the bigs, it was a little bit less of that. And it made me realize how big of this game is mental, because just me feeling that, a little less confidence, or like, I'm not playing every day, am I good enough to play up here? That sort of thing that you kind of wrestle with. It can put you in a rut, and then you got to go hit 100 miles an hour. It's like, no, you got to be at the top. You got to be the most confident person you can be. So I think most of it, to answer your question, most of it was mental with me. The hitting coaches have been awesome this year with helping me with little cues, trying to keep the bat in the zone longer, swing a little bit harder. But yeah, it's mostly mental with me.
I'm going to ask a question that seems like it might be dumb before I ask it. You can tell me if it is.
No, it's fine.
Is there any part of you at some point last year, or like if you're just sitting watching, that would rather be playing every day in AAA? I'm assuming the money's a lot different too. Like,
right.
I'm not dumb, but just because whether it's not here, it's for another team, but you are getting the best out of yourself.
Yeah.
Or is it just whatever it takes, big leagues, because I'm in the 5-star hotel and I'm flying with the boys and whatever?
Right. That's that's a great question. I mean, the answer is, for me, you want to be in the bigs. I want to be able to help them. I know, if I'm coming off the bench, I'm not going to be on the bench every single game. I'm going to get my opportunities, but to a certain extent, you're right. I mean, for a guy like me who has always been an everyday player, you're itching to get out there every day. You really are, and not necessarily wanting to go back down to AAA and do that, but just wanting to earn my spot on the big league team to prove I'm an everyday guy, because you can't prove you're an everyday guy until you play every day. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I look at it. And like I said, nothing's given, everything's earned. I get that, but I feel like given the opportunity, I'll be able to show that.
The vibe we've gotten from talking to folks, we've only been here a couple days, but it's been this front office, this coaching staff, very much here's what we think we can help you with. Here's how we can develop you, et cetera. A, have you felt that? And B, it sounds like there's some enthusiasm with that. Guys going, it's not what I can do for you, it's what you guys can do for me. That's refreshing, it feels like.
Yeah. That has been a huge thing this year so far. I've gotten more instruction from these guys here in this spring training than I have in 5 years being in pro ball.
What do you mean by that? Instruction from them, like specifically?
Instruction we're all in big league camp here. I mean, our stuff is good, right? But it's fine-tuning the little things, whether that's cues. That's a big thing for me, is certain cues in the box, not necessarily like swing changes, just stuff to think about. I was talking with a couple of the hitting coaches before today about, how I kind of tilt my shoulders, and I'll do it a lot on the lefties too, watching back on film. I'll tilt my shoulders for whatever reason, trying to get unlocked power or whatever, and I'm clipping balls, or I'll roll it over and top it to second base. And that was the thing I worked on today. So I took it into the game. I kind of like overcorrected it, tilted my shoulders kind of down like I was going to chop it right into the ground, and I think it leveled my swing out, and I had 2 kind of line drive hits. And that's the sort of thing I'm talking about.
And you think this spring, just to drill down on that, there have been more of those subtle, nuanced tips? That kind of thing has just happened more often with this group?
More often with this group than I've personally gotten with a couple years with the Padres and a couple years with this team as well. So I think, I love all these guys are. I mean, really, I really mean it. Every single coach we have is really excited. You can tell they're hungry. We got a younger group. Not that matters as much, but I feel like a lot of the coaches have a lot to prove, and same with us players.
Your manager is 9 years older than you. A lot of Simon Matthews, the pitching coach, might not be 30 yet.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting you have to be in your 20s, but there is something to be said when you're 24, like you are sitting here. These guys are speaking the same language. They're doing the same things at night. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, speaking the same language. I mean, we're all, I think that was. It seems to me like that was part of the plan coming in. Like I said, we got it's young all around. So I mean they relate to us a lot better. Some of these guys just got done playing not too long ago. They have some of the newer analytical ways of looking at stuff that can help guys. So like I said, it's been really helpful, and I'm really blessed to be with these guys.
Robert Hassell with us here on Grant and Denny Live, West Palm Beach spring training, as we watch the Nats and Mets playing right before us. Robert Hassell finishes the game, walks upstairs, hangs out with us. It is pretty cool. One of the perks of being down here. Just in terms of, you mentioned the mental side and feeling comfortable and things like that. You touched on something I want to drill down on. The hardest thing to do, I think baseball provides this, is trying easy. You know, in basketball, if your shot's not going, you can make it up with effort. You can rebound, play defense, etc. There's a little of that in baseball. You can go track a fly ball or back up a base, but it's so damn hard. All you want to do is help, and it's like, crap, I'm over 4. I didn't help today. It's how do you find that balance of you're competing but also trying easy? It is so hard to keep it in the green there.
Yeah, I mean it is, and it really is. It is for me too. It's not like I go home and sit in a dark room all day if I'm over 4, but I mean it bothers me.
Yeah.
It really does. And you know, I'm still trying to adapt to that. You're going to have bad games. I feel like that's the competitor in me too.
Sure.
I want to make sure I keep that, obviously. But yeah, I mean it's crazy because. I fell into it a little bit last year in the bigs, but sometimes you press and you press and you press and you press. Sometimes what works better is the complete opposite. It's hard to say care less because this is our job. I mean, we show up every day and do it. But sometimes that's honestly kind of the approach you have to take. Is back off just a little bit, you know? Like don't it sounds bad, but don't care as much. You still go do your same work, but don't press and press and press because you're like I said, you're putting yourself in a rut if you're mentally down on yourself or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of times last year where I saved myself in the last at bat, you know, and made it a good day. So that's kind of what I think of it. Sometimes you got to do the opposite of what you think might work because this game it's crazy, man. So yeah.
Robert, you grew up, went to high school in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You still live there now?
Still live
off
there.
Offseason?
Yep.
Who are your pro teams, like outside of baseball, obviously, as a fan? And
pro teams
watch
outside
other
of baseball?
Sports? Yeah, like who do you like to watch and root for?
Well, Titans.
Sorry, buddy.
I like the hesitation. He's like,
there was
well,
some hesitation
you don't have
in
to.
there.
It almost is like you're admitting something that you feel bad about.
You got to
Yeah.
like scratch
You
your
can
forehead.
just-
You're like, the Titans.
Yeah.
You can say it with your chest a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Titans, Predators. I'm kind of really casual football fan and hockey fan. I'm not too deep into it. All the moves and roster moves and all that, but not crazy into it. But
So you wouldn't say you're a huge sports fan as a viewer?
It's hard for me to get into it. It's hard for me to get into football, basketball. I like hockey. I respect hockey a lot because their hand-eye and stuff is similar to what what is demanded in our sport. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I like to rep the Tennessee teams. I do, but nothing crazy.
I saw, in fact, fellow Tennessean now, Bryce Harper has moved to Nashville, I think.
Yeah.
Former Nats superstar here, now in the Philly, and he was on a pod, and he was talking to a couple of former NFL players, and they were talking about like the hardest sport to play. And I don't think there's any debate among even athletes that the hardest thing to do would be to hit a baseball.
Yep.
That goes without saying, but otherwise, would you say Major League Baseball still the hardest of all the sports to play?
I think so. I think obviously people could make a good argument for something else. But I mean, man, and people watch on TV and 100 looks like 90, and it's different when you're playing the game, and it's extremely hard. I would challenge anybody that doesn't think it's the hardest sport to go out there and try to face. You know what I mean?
I think the sneaky thing is monotony sounds like a pejorative, so that's probably I need a better word here. But the everyday nature of it is insane.
Man. The grind.
Like just going to the ballpark to sit and be fat and watch you guys. Every day I'm like, I've done this 9 days in a row on this homestand. I don't feel it today.
Yeah.
You're out there for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And like last night, it's raining and it's windy, and I'm like, it's spring training. We can just go home, right, guys? And you guys are like, nope, we're locked in with Venezuela. And Clayton Beater's getting out of a jam. And like, this is day 7 of 29 here. You know?
Yep.
It just, no one else does that.
It's tough. It's a grind, and I'd be lying if there wasn't some days where we wake up and feel exactly that. Like, it's going to be a tough day today. But I think that's what makes me respect the guys that are able to produce, one, play 162 in a season, and two, to have really good numbers by the end of the season. I think that's respectable because you're just not going to feel even perfect 10% of the time.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to battle a lot of days and then still go out there and face the best pitchers in the world. So
Is every at-bat over this – I know this is the goal, right? But is this how it works? Is every at-bat grinded like it's Game 7 of the World Series in the bottom ninth? Or are there games where it's like the 8th inning, it's 9-2, it's a getaway day? I'm not saying you're not trying, but you're like, this isn't the 9th inning of the World Series. Or is every at-bat the exact same for you?
I think maybe the only situation would be if there's a position player on the mound, because if you think about it, there's a lot of getaway days. You're going to get a lot of getaway at bats. So you got to be locked in. I think a lot of hitters just kind of have that switch. They can even be joking on the on deck circle, but when they get in the box, there's kind of that natural switch because we've been playing the game our whole life, and a lot of people take pride in defense and stuff too, but hitting is the thing, and hitting is the thing for position players, and so that's what I kind of see. Kind of get locked in.
We caught up with you a couple years ago. I think it was in Bowie, right? Where you were kind enough to join us then. I feel like you're a lot stronger now than you were a couple years ago. Would that be fair to say?
Up 25 pounds from last year.
Even from last year?
Yeah. So it was.
So am I, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. It's been a struggle, and I figured out this off season. I was training the same. I've always, put a lot of work in the weight room and stuff. But
because you've never been a bulky guy, and that's not who you are.
No,
right.
I've had a hard time gaining weight. There's not a whole lot of guys up in the bigs that are playing at 180 pounds, and that's what I finished the year at. And now I'm like 205.
How much did you lose over the season? 'Cause that's a thing, right?
6-7 pounds. Yeah. Oh.
Was that on purpose?
No, it wasn't on purpose. Golly.
You don't even realize how much you're saying.
You didn't know you were with 5-year-olds either.
Yeah, but I don't lose that much. But the main thing with me is been eating more. Simple as that.
Same.
I wasn't eating as much. Yeah, I wasn't eating as much. It directly translated to me gaining weight, which pretty self-explanatory. But I really nailed that down this off season. The guys told me bulk up a little bit. So I did that, and I feel really good doing it. My body feels good. I'm not as sore every day.
And that's what I wanted to ask was how does that materialize? And that's the answer.
I've been really surprised. I feel like I would be moving slower and all that, but that hasn't been the case. And my body thanks me for doing that too. Like I said, because I haven't had the little muscle, whatever it may be, soreness, all that. I haven't felt that yet, so I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah.
Robert Hassell of the Nats stopping by our setup here. We're at West Palm Beach, hanging out right above home plate. The Nationals playing and leading a spring training game against the Mets. Thank you for the time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. Grant and Danny on the Fan.